Hey guys, how are ya? How are ya? How are ya? How are ya? Hey Nick, how's it shaking? Oh, it is so windy. Is it windy where you are? It is so windy here in Missouri today. It's crazy. I mean, we're talking 50-mile-an-hour gusts. I'm pretty sure the sustained wind's pretty high too. It's bananas. We'll let a few more people get in here. I'm good, a little tired, but I'm always tired because I'm always got something going. Always trying to get the bills paid, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is crazy. And I think we're going to be in for a crazy spring too. Super crazy spring. Yep. Hey, Pepper Jackie, how are you? Carl, how are you? How are things going with you? So I'm hoping it works out tonight with my tabs, because I have quite a few tabs up and ready to go. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised that we haven't lost, we lost some limbs up at work today, and working on homework. Yeah, doing good. Good, Carl. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm going to do one this weekend, Pepper. I don't know what night, either Friday night or Saturday night. I'll try for Friday night if I can. But one of the two nights, I promise. I'll post a video as soon as I know. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Let's see here. We're going to share. Try to screen. Oh, you are? Cool. I don't know what that means, Carl, but sounds like a lot of work, maybe, huh? Not yet, but we're going to talk about that. Yeah, not yet, but it is that time of year, isn't it? So we'll start out with catching up on what's going on around the globe first. Here is the last 24 hours of earthquake activity in the United States. You can see the Appalachia. It's still open. Not near as bad as it was, but it's still going. Oklahoma has died down a little bit, but let's see. Yeah, it's not gonna respond for me. That's okay. Okay, there it is. 2.7 there in Dibble, Oklahoma. California is doing what California does. Shake, rattle, and roll. Okay. Oh, cool. Very cool. So yeah, Texas is still popping. All of that is within the last 24 hours. So, you know, things are still steady rattling. Meanwhile, here's our Schumann resonance. Now, here's what I want to explain to you about the Schumann resonance. Remember how we talked about how the Schumann is related to earthquake activity, and also it's all related to lightning activity. When you see this white color, that is very high. Now, this isn't too bad. We have had white all the way down the graph. So this isn't too bad. But you can see, look at this over here, that passed yesterday. Pretty big bang on the old electromagnetic field. So, you know, things are popping there too. But moving steady. Here's our spaceweather.com. Everything's pretty quiet. We've got a sunspot getting ready to come around towards the Earth. Let's just hope it doesn't belch on us. That may cause us some issues. Let's see what else. We got satellite activity. If you want to check up on that, they've got that here. Fireball near Earth asteroids. Let's see. Today is the 10th. Now on the 8th, look, we had one that came 0.7 lunar distance from us. And it was in a diameter of 4 meters. And actually, there was some video on TikTok and I think Facebook, various places. Some people got video of that object passing by our Earth. So that came quite close. Nothing's happening, though, for us here on the 10th. A couple of, nearby passerbys, but nothing drastic. And really, all into May, we're good. We don't even have to worry about it. All into May. Yeah, I knew that, Carl. I knew you were the host there. And the Farmer's Almanac, here's what it's saying. It's saying above average rainfall for this spring, especially through the high plains into Oklahoma and Texas, Southeast Florida, and the Great Lakes, all are to experience above average rainfall as well. And we're looking at a bigger tropical storm threat for places like Florida, especially into mid-May. So that is going to bring us right into tornado season. We all know what happens when we get a lot of rain through the plains. It already happened. Remember not last summer, but the year before, everything flooded. Okay. They didn't even hardly get recovered from that last year. If that hits again this year, we're really looking at some bad news. So, these are the things that we need to consider. This is why you need to take 2 seconds out of your day and visit the Farmer's Almanac or spaceweather.com or the USGS. 5 minutes is all it takes just to get updated, just to see what's happening. Not that you can do anything about any of it, but at least something's going on. Another great place to go is ready.gov, okay? They have all kinds of help regarding every disaster you can think of, okay? Tornadoes, because with these severe storms happen, above average rainfall, we're looking at tornadoes. We're looking at floods. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready as I can be. Now, I do not live in an area that can flood. I mean, it's really got to, we're talking about a biblical type flood for me to get flooded. But my county definitely has lots of areas in it that can flood. Now, I definitely am in an area of risk for tornadoes. And we just recently, this past year, got a tornado siren. Okay. I heard it thunder, Carl, just a little bit ago. I could hear the thunder. So we are going to get a little bit tonight. We do have areas in my county that flood. And, when we're talking about the high plains, we're talking about, the area where they grow all of our corn, they grow all of our wheat, hogs are up. They've got hogs up there, cattle up there. All of those things took a giant hit when those floods hit a couple of years ago. I think you're right in town. Oh, since this January, I think I can show comments. Oh, I see. It lets me show. Okay. I'm just learning the StreamYard a little bit. It lets me show your comment. I'm going to use you, Nick, as an example. Yeah, see, now you were part of that recent flood that just went on through Kentucky and Tennessee, and aren't you in South Carolina? But is it raining now? Just started. I don't think it's raining here in Kingston yet. But yeah, so we need to be prepared for that, especially food wise, because we're looking at, our cost of food is going to go up even more than it already is. They got a lot of cool weather down south this year, and this may affect our citrus. Okay, now they do a lot of greenhouses down there, so it's not going to completely affect it to where we don't have any, but the prices may definitely go up. But anyway, do you have a place to go? Do you have a place to go? Let's start with tornadoes, because anybody. Hey, Witchy Oma, welcome. Most anybody can have a tornado. You may not be worrying about getting flooded, but tornadoes can hit literally anywhere. Do you have a place to go? Do you have a plan? What if a Cat 5 runs through town, takes out all the stores and the power and all of that? Oh, you missed me showing your comment on the screen. That's what you missed. But yeah, anyway, it could put things down for quite a while. That tornado that went through, what was it? It wasn't Salina. That shut shit down for weeks. People had to get by, leave, bug out, go somewhere else. There weren't any stores. It was 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I believe, is what I remember. Yes, the citrus is struggling in Florida. Oh, the weather caused super pests. That's interesting. I haven't seen that. But it took a couple of weeks just to get one store open, so people had a store to go to. So you literally had what you had. So, that's what you do. You sit and you think, okay, if something happened right now, if I woke up in the morning and shit had done hit the fan, how long am I going to get by with what I have in my house right now? So that's what you got to keep in mind. And, there's no excuse, and people try to use excuses. Pesticides are becoming less effective. Interesting. People like to use all kinds of excuses. Oh, I live in an apartment. Oh, I this, I do that. This is the reason I can't. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. You can store some. Now, are you going to be able to store a year's supply of food? No, you're not going to be able to store a year's supply of food. But if you could store 2 weeks worth of food, you are that far ahead. And don't forget, when we talk about storing food and we talk about prepping, you've got to change your mindset about what it takes to get through a day. Okay. You cannot sit and think, oh, well, I'm going to store enough food to have 3 square meals a day. No, there won't be any 3 square meals a day. Okay. Yeah, I actually am on every Sunday, Carl, with my partner. So I am on Wednesdays and Sundays. I've been doing this for a minute. Anyway, now I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to be lucky to have one good meal a day, and maybe some snacks to keep you going the rest of the day. Okay. So, we're not talking about being able to store what you probably ate today is probably not the majority of that is not something you're going to store. Okay. Some of it might be, but we're talking food goes from having dinner being a thing. Half the time we eat, we don't even need to. Okay. To being a necessity, something to keep you alive. So you've got to think about what's it going to take to keep you alive. What's it going to take that's not going to use all your water up? These are the things you need to think about. And, Shauna, this is exactly right. Under your beds, in your closets, under your couches, under your shoes, in your closet, okay? Clear out all your shoes and everything on the floor of your closet. Line it with canned food or bottled water, and then put everything back up on top of it. That's the kind of tricks you use. Put everything under the bed. If you have a platform bed, just lift the mattress, put everything under it, put the mattress back on. Those high cabinets above the refrigerator, these are all little places that you can go and put things. And again, store as much as you can. Any day, you know what, if you're lucky enough to have a basement, exactly. But if you're in an apartment or, so many houses like in Florida don't have basements. These are alternative places that you can store food. And every day you have sustenance is a day you're ahead of the game. So even if, okay, so you can't be like me and have 6 months worth of food downstairs, which is what I keep so I can get to a growing season. It's okay if it's not that way. I mean, store what you can, whether it be 1 week, 2 weeks, as much as you can. Just make sure you've got water and a way to get water, because with floods and tornadoes, that a lot of times affects our water. The water may not quit running, but they may issue boil orders. Your water may become undrinkable. Yeah, that's possible that you could possibly remove baseboards. It just depends on your baseboards. Definitely a possibility. And yeah, you're right. Nixon, Alabama, they just do not. You do have a bomb shelter where that's good. And, a lot of the older farms and the older places along the Appalachia have smokehouses, or they have outside root cellars. Those are all places you can store things. But if you're in an apartment, you're kind of stuck for space. Starting today, yeah, they are starting today. Shauna, we went through the almanac and all of that stuff, and the Farmer's Almanac did say we are going to be getting above average rainfall. So we've already had some flooding towards the East Coast. So let's be prepared for some more flooding here in the central states and in the upper plains. And that's going to affect our farmers. And I tell you what, they barely got recovered from the last bout. And if it hits them hard again, like it did that year, it's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough. Oh, that's kind of cool. Very cool. Do you worry about flooding in it, though? About your root cellar flooding? That would be my only concern. But that's a fantastic idea. Canned chicken, so do I. Canned tuna packs. Yep. You know, you can make you can oven can crackers and they will last forever. Did you guys know that? I may have to do some of that. Next time I go up to the Amish store, I'll grab me some half-gallon jars and show you how to can saltines in the oven. But you can also make hardtack. You were reading my mind. Oma, you were reading my mind. In fact, I did a video on that a couple of years ago, but maybe I'll have to do another one on making hardtack. And that's a fun project. You can do that with the kids of any age. So I'll wait until Max is here to help me. And then oven can it so that it's in a sealed jar. And yeah, and or you can store it in those vacuum seal bags, heat seal bags. I've got one of those machines. That's actually a great idea in case you've got to grab things. In case you've got to grab things to bug out, because you're not going to want to grab a bunch of glass jars and bug out with it. That's not a good idea. So it's always good to have things stored and preserved in an alternative way that you can grab and go. So yes, absolutely. Don't forget the kids and yourself too. I mean, you know, you're going to not, like I said in the beginning of this video, you're not going to be eating 3 square meals a day. Okay. You're going to be sustaining yourself. And you're going to do your best to store a variety so that it doesn't become monotonous for you. But fact of the matter is, depending on the space you have, you may end up with a bunch of beans, a bunch of rice, you know, canned chicken, canned tuna. All that stuff's going to get old after a week or two. So having neat things like candies, hot chocolate powder, things that can mix with water, hot chocolate powders, what else? Powdered whip topping, which you can buy at the store. You don't even have to go anywhere special for that. But these are things that are going to store forever. They're powdered, they're dehydrated, and all it takes is a little bit of water to bring it back up. And don't forget your seasonings. And season them all differently. Exactly. Don't forget your seasonings and your flavors, because that as well helps you break up the monotony of what may be, you know, starting to wear on you, starting to wear and tear on you. But here's the thing. It's always good practice. And we've actually done this. And I actually have a lot downstairs that I know I need to get rid of. I need to get rid of it. Canned milk. You definitely don't want to forget the canned milk. Canned milk, though, will go bad, Pepper. Powdered milk is a little better. Powdered milk is a better alternative to store for long term. Canned milk, though, is great, especially if you have a rotating cellar like I do. It rotates. We eat out of my cellar. There are some things down there that are long term, but the majority of what is down there we rotate through. So I could do canned milk, but know that canned milk does not last forever. I discovered that. So vinegar, salt, sugars, flours. Yep, I've got a lot of that down there. Well, I tell you what, shelf-stable almond milk, I bet lasts for quite a long time as well. And you're exactly right, and it's very healthy. Really more healthy than milk. Vinegars, I make my own vinegars, so I am never without vinegar, and I am never without a way to make more. Salt, definitely, and you know, salt is one of those things that's going to be great. Salt, sugar, flour, those staples are going to be great. I mean, of course, we're talking real apocalyptic shit here now, but they're great barters. Same with liquor. But yeah, there are things that store for a long time, if not forever. Powdered creamer. Oh, well, don't forget the creamer, because you're probably going to be drinking instant coffee because it's dehydrated and it will last forever and it's better than nothing. Um, you got to have the creamer and sugar to help. I mean, I've got oats downstairs, tons of oatmeal. Yep, rolled oats. You can make oat milk. You can. If you have access to power in a blender, definitely. And that's a great filler. You can grind up oats and add them to stews and soups, and it gives them bulk. And as grandma would say, it fills the belly. Sticks to your ribs. Yes. I've got some canned smoked herring downstairs. It's really cheap. Comes in a little can. Got a couple of those downstairs. You sold a can of chicken for a pair of wax strips. There you go. You just don't know, do you? You just don't know. So, if you're rotating through your pantry, it's okay to have some things that are not going to last forever, like canned milk, and things like that. It's always a good idea. And you know what? The great time to do this is during the winter months, okay? And we generally do this too. And like I said, I've got a lot downstairs that I know I've got to get rid of. Live off that stuff down there. Make sure everything's doing well, tasting well. Is everybody going to eat it? I canned up a bunch of chicken downstairs. I've got some on the bone raw chicken that I canned, and we never used it. So now I'm looking at, because it was canned as a raw meat, it's not going to last forever. It's only going to last a couple of years. It's already been down there a year. So I'm looking at grabbing all those, probably bringing them up, boiling them up, and I'll feed them to the, barn cats or whatever. It was like 39 cents a pound at the Amish store. So it's not like, it is my opinion, if it goes in a belly, it is not wasted. I don't care whose belly it goes in. As long as it doesn't go in the trash and it goes in somebody's belly, then I do not consider it wasted. So, and I did intend to use it, but we just didn't. So, I probably won't can. Now, I did recently can chicken that I have already cooked. And that will last for quite a while downstairs. So, yeah. I won't do the raw bone-in anymore, though. Well, yeah, and it might. With it being, though, that I did it raw bone-in, I'm just not going to take the chance with it. Not that much of it down there. And I'm going to go ahead and just bring them up and boil them up and send them to the cats. Pigs will eat anything. My cats, barn cats will eat anything. Chickens will eat anything. And especially during the summer, they need the protein. They will absolutely eat people. It is storming now, storming and raining. So, yeah. So anyway, but really the rest of it, though, we eat off of, we rotate out. It's not a problem. I'm a little behind on my canning. So I need to catch up on that with my corn and peas in particular, and carrots. Yeah, plus I'm just kind of, it was the first time I never done this raw in bone thing. I've canned plenty of chicken and we use it all the time. It's handier than hell. I've got some silky hens down there, and just for everyone's information, silky hens taste real gamey. They do not make good eating. They make good mamas, but they do not make good eating. So I'm going to pull those up as well and get rid of it, because we're not going to eat that. I actually was just kind of saving it in case I needed dog food during an emergency, because don't forget your pets. My plan is my pets will eat along with us. They will eat what I have. Eventually, I would have liked to have had rabbits, not only for me as an alternative meat source, but as a source of food for my animals, for my dogs. They breed readily, they breed a lot, and it's a great self-sustaining food source for any of your animals that eat protein like dogs or cats. Don't get those. You do if you want mama hens. They make great mama hens, but they taste horrible. Don't. They're no good. No good. They taste real gamey. Real gamey. Little Mama Nana. Oh, okay. Oh, you got permanently banned? What did you do? Just go back on with a different name or something. Like, well, they would if I allowed them to. They would if I allowed them to, but I do not allow them to. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So anyway, those are my plans. I don't know what's going to happen, though, with my plans at this point. But I know that I will always keep canning and I will always keep storing in that capacity. Boy, it's really storming. I don't know if you can hear it. My electric, if I black out on you, it's because I lost power. So I don't know. But anyway, now here's the thing. My cellar does flood. Now it doesn't flood like there's feet of water down there, but it is underground. It is real close to where my water table is, where my well I have out there is. And if that raises, water does seep in through the walls, the rock walls, and down the ramp. There's a ramp outside that you can access the cellar. So I keep everything off the floor. I would love to look into solar grants, but I am not even financially able to do anything like that. If you are, though, yes. From what I have understand how it works, let's say you get with a solar company and you buy this 50, and these systems, you want to run your whole house. This is like $50,000, 50,000, okay? And what will happen is the government will say, oh, well, you know, we're going to give you $20,000. So what the solar company will do, they're all hooked up in with the program. So what the solar company does is they sell you this system for $50,000. They do the paperwork, send it into the government. The government sends them $20,000, and now you only have $30,000 that you have to pay off, which is equal. In some states, it costs you $0. What? I have never heard of that. It's, you know, no different than if you were going to buy a house or something like that. As a matter of fact, that's way cheaper than a house. Oh, somebody must be in there. But I'm not in a position to do that. That's not going to happen. However, I do want to start buying a few small systems. You know, a couple of 100-watt kits, just enough. In Florida, I did not pay a cent. And did you run your whole house? Did you run your entire house with solar? I just want enough to charge a few things. I want to start replacing things, use like laptops, use like batteries, things like that that will hold charges. You know, you got your phone, things like that. That way I can just recharge it with the little solar setup. And I don't need to run my whole house or anything like that. So I do want to start buying it. Usually those go on sale a lot of times for $100 to $150. You lived in a camper, and really? Well, that is interesting, Nick. And I would be, well, Florida, it's probably a state thing. I know of nothing like that available for Missouri. And that's unfortunate because I think a lot more people would do it if that were the case. But there's a guy up by the golf course where Papa works that has a giant solar setup, and he runs his entire, yeah, exactly. He runs his entire house off of it. And it's that's sweet. That is the way to go. So definitely, but you know what? If you're looking at flooding or tornadoes, you know, having that stuff's great as long as the tornado doesn't directly affect you or the flood doesn't directly affect you. So you've got to keep those things in mind. You've got to think worst case scenario. What if it floods? What's going to happen to the food I've got stored? What if a tornado hits? Where can I go, number one, to be safe? Router phone, cool. That's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I would like still be living that way. Why did you quit living that way? I would be living that way today if I could. Yeah, anywhere you want. Follow the weather. You know, that's what I'm saying. Because you can do business and make money on your computer. Enough to live that way. But, you know, make sure you've got a safe place to go. If you don't have a basement, make sure, you know where a local place is, be it a church, maybe a neighbor, something like that. Oma says you can get a solar charger on Amazon for $50. Yeah, you can. Yeah. That's what I would like to start picking up, little things like that. In fact, I've been thinking about, I don't know. I've been thinking about a lot of things. I've been thinking about switching things up, but we'll see. Looking for a new one? Yeah. I tell you what, I could totally live that way. Totally live that way. I would like to have two. I would like to have two campers. That way I could live in one and someone can come visit me, and that's where they can stay while they're visiting with me. And that's it. And then that camper just stays shut until someone visits me. And that's it. That's all I want. As long as I've got power to do the things I need, you know, get rid of all the crap, get rid of everything. Just get rid of all the crap. And if I'm living where the weather's getting bad, I can up and move. I don't know. If you watch things on the news, things are, you got to read between the lines. They're having a lot of fun with nice guy Biden, you know, and all his wonderful little things he's doing and saying, and how he's so much better than Trump was. And, you know, in most ways, he definitely is. But we're right back to when Obama was in charge. And that is all the smoke and mirrors. You have no idea what is going on in the background. The great thing about big mouths like Trump and dumbasses like Trump is they're boisterous and you know what they're doing because they're bragging about it. So everything to move to Vietnam. Wow. But then COVID hit. You never made it to Vietnam. But have you been living? What did you do? You sold everything? Where are you living with your 5 kids? I would have took that opportunity to say, okay, we're all going off grid, y'all. Off the grid is where we're heading. Where we are headed. Yeah. I could live that way. Easily. Quiet would be great. It would be great. I need a little bit of room, but not a whole lot of room, because I do like my family. I do like having a kid stay or this and that, so I would want room for that. But beyond that, I mean, even the house I have right now is way more than I would require, really. Way more. Well, that storm already passed by. It's already done. That was quick. That's good. What else you want to talk about? Hopefully all of you guys are prepared for this spring. I think it's going to be crazy. I do. I think we're going to have a hot summer. Hot summer, dry. Oh, you got married. Yeah, it was a big mistake. Oh, I bet you did live comfortably. You had nothing. You're not ready? Well, do what you can. Do what you can. Did you see the earthquake map? I think things quieted down there at the New Madrid, but you never know. Plus, we've got tornadoes coming through here now in Missouri, you know. So, you know, you need to. How many of you can food? Any of you can food? Still in the same house. Thankfully, we hadn't sold it just yet, but we did sold so much that we're still trying to catch up on basic things. Yeah. Well, that only means she's going to have an upset. What? I don't understand what you're saying. Canning food's a great way to save money because a lot of times you can get food for free, especially in the summertime when everybody is growing. They get more than they need and they give it away. They do around here. So a lot of times you can get food free and can it for the winter, or just, you know, ferment, make me out. So do I, Shauna. So do I. Make vinegars. I don't ferment. We don't care too much for fermented foods, so I don't. I don't have kids anymore. All mine are grown, so I have to work outside the home, though, so that wouldn't even be possible for me. Anyway, I feel for those that did have to do that recently, too, you know. Because that is tough. I mean, how did you work? How did people work and keep their job? Because not everybody could work from home. I mean, my job, although I can work from home, it's hard for me to work from home. All my files are not here. There's just too much that's not here, you know? So, fault burbs, we aren't too concerned. Yeah. But when she goes quiet, we worry. Yeah, right now she went quiet after some bourbon. After she's been burping and burping for a bit, she did go quiet. And it's due. She's due. She is due. So I hope you're ready for that. I hope you know, even if you don't can food, it doesn't matter. Go to Aldi's, go to Big Lots, go to, Save a Lot. What are all those things? Big Lots, Save a Lot, Aldi's, all those places where you can get canned food for really cheap. And you know what? For $20, you can buy a lot of canned food. A lot. And just shove it under your bed. You know, water. That's the big thing. Water. You cannot. It is impossible to store enough water. So that's the other thing. But it really doesn't take a lot of money to put some stuff back. Ollie. What's Ollie mean? Dehydrated food. Yep, dehydrated food. Absolutely. Do know, though, I have experimented with that. Not all food, most food does dehydrate quite well, but it's the rehydrating. Not everything rehydrates very well. So play around. Celery, for instance. Now, if you want to dehydrate that, grind it up for celery powder, perfect. But slicing it and then dehydrating it, dehydrates great, but doesn't rehydrate right. It doesn't rehydrate well. So keep that in mind. But celery's great because it adds flavor and there's some nutrition there as well. Dehydrate it, then grind it up in like your coffee grinder or something. Make a celery powder that you can use to flavor soups or other things. So you've got to think things out. And that's what I mean. Now, while we're not in an emergency, is when you play around and learn things. That's what I've been doing for a couple of years now. I can new things and then wait a year or so and open it up and see how to do. Oh, Olives? Is it all? Oh, Ollie's is a store. Okay, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. You know, they have sales. Our little local store always has a $10 sale. You get a certain amount for $10. Oh, really? It sounds like a Big Lots. Sounds like a Big Lots to me. So, yeah. Now's the time that you play. Now's the time you grow something new that you've never grown before to see how it does. Now is the time you can something you've never canned before, or dehydrate something that you've never dehydrated before so you can see. Great stuff on clearance. Oh, yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. You don't want to be in the emergency and going, oh, I wished I had done this. Tons of sunflower butter for $1/4. Wow, that's super cool. You can that, you know, and it might last a lot longer. Because here's the thing about freezing, it's fine, but if you lose power, you're going to lose your freezer. So keep that in mind. Cool. Freezing is great, but if you lose power, you're going to lose that freezer. So, oh, did you? I love corned beef. Nobody else does. Well, the kids will eat it, but Papa doesn't eat it. So, yeah, I do. I love barbecued corned beef. It's my favorite. But St. Patty's Day is on the way. It's next week, next Wednesday. We're having a taco bar at the courthouse. Ooh. And I have to bring jalapenos, so I'm going to go down to the cellar and grab a jar of jalapenos from my cellar because I canned jalapenos. So I don't even have to do anything. Oh, yeah, I would can it. I would can it. You just got to be real particular about the rims because, you know, it's butter. It's greasy. But yeah, I would can it. I would totally can it. Lots of stuff on YouTube or Pinterest on canning butter. So I buy butter at the Amish store and I make ghee out of it is what I do. In fact, I need to make some more because I like to use ghee a lot in my cooking. So I buy it like when we went to the Amish store last time, I got it for $1.50 a pound. Real butter. So I don't worry about canning the butter, but I do. And ghee is shelf stable and will last forever. So yeah. Yeah. So, and I use, oh goodness, I usually can 2 quarts at a time. And, you know, it lasts me a couple months. I use it on all kinds of different things to cook with. Just shake it. Ghee is more natural. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I like ghee. It is, I mean, and it can be, you can use it on like a piece of toast, just like butter in a pinch. The flavor's pretty much gone out of it. There is a slight butter flavor, but it's not the same. But it can be used that way. But I use it mostly, you know, cooking eggs, coating pans for my baking, things like that's what I use it for. So that's what I do. I can't consume dairy personally. Ghee, though, you probably can because there won't be any dairy left in it. You cook the dairy fat out of it completely. All that is left is the fat. Do some research on that. I think those people who are dairy intolerant can eat ghee. I think so. But I do. So when I go to the Amish store, I always buy butter. Cheap. Like I said, it was $1.50 a pound. So I should have bought more than I bought, actually. But I was there to buy lard and coconut oil for my soap. So, yeah, do some research on that, Shauna. I might be wrong. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and go, I know. But, see, I was kind of thinking so too. All the harmful, the lactate is cooked out of it. Ooh, Lord, that sucks. That sucks. But I do use ghee a lot. I love it. It's right on my counter. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it will store forever. I don't store back though, and I wished I did have some down in the cellar. And maybe one of these days I need to just buy extra butter to put some downstairs. I rotate out what I make, so I use it up as we go. So, but I think that's about all I have to say tonight. He even spelled it. He did spell it right. He did spell it right. Unless you even the slightest bit celiac. He did spell it right. But I'll have to do a video when I make ghee next too. Because it's really easy. It's not that hard. And I don't know why everybody doesn't do it. Of course, I do a lot of things that I don't understand why everybody doesn't do it. But I do thank you for coming by tonight to talk about things. And, I hope you're ready for this spring storm season that's coming up. And if you're not, you've got time. You've got time to go down and buy yourself a flat of canned food, water, things like that. Spelled it right because I eat that. Yeah. You should make your own. You should make your own. If you eat that much. Powdered eggs is a great, powdered anything is a great thing to store. Powdered anything. You can powder your own eggs too. You can dehydrate them and then powder them up. I think I seen a YouTube video. Blessed be, Shauna. Thank you for coming by and joining into the conversation. I do appreciate it. But yeah, I saw a YouTube video about somebody telling you how to powder eggs and milk as well. By basically just dehydrating it and then powdering it up. So, these are things. I've made my own butter. I have. Definitely, and this is the thing about making butter and powdering this and learning how to do that. It's not like you learn to make butter, and it's not like you have to now, I can only eat the butter I make. No, that's not the point. The point is you learn to make butter so you know how to make butter. I know how to make butter, but I buy butter. Because why should I make the butter? I don't have a cow, so I have to buy the cream, and on and on. But you've got to learn the skill. That way, if you are in a position to where you do need to make your own butter or make your own ghee or, dehydrate something in the sun, make a rock oven, make a rocket stove, cook outside on an open fire. Things like that are skills you need to know. Doesn't mean you have to live that way every day. No one is telling you to do that. I'm just saying these are things that can be fun for the family, number one, to do on the weekends or whenever, to learn the skill. That way, if it ever comes up that you do need to know how to do that, you can do that. It's a trick, cooking on an open fire. I mean, it's different. There's a thing, there's a way to do it. Same with cooking on a wood stove. There's a trick to it. You've got to know these things. And you don't want to be waiting till shit has hit the fan and you're at the end of your rope. Okay, I'm going to learn how to cook on an open fire today. That's not the day. That is not the day. You need to learn now. So anyway, I love you all. Y'all have a good evening and stay safe and think about getting ready. Think about what you're going to do to make yourself just a little bit more ready tomorrow than you are today. All right. I love you, and I will see you Sunday. Me and Tommy B will go on, and possibly two other guests as well. The entire group of Central States Paranormal is thinking about going on for Sunday, talking about some new Bigfoot sightings that are happening right now down in the Ozarks. And actually, one of our members today sent us photos about what possibly an interaction he is currently in the middle of having in Platte County. And we'll go into how I have mapped out how they migrate possibly through here, and going through Platte County is definitely one of the areas. So we're going to talk about things like that. Hope it works out. Hope my computer can take having 3 guests. We'll see. But we're going to give it a go. So I will see you Sunday. And for those TikTok people that are on here, I do plan on purging this weekend. I've had a lot of people messaging me and posting on my videos that they want to purge. So I don't know what day yet. It's going to be either Friday or Saturday. I am going to try for Friday. We'll just have to see. But anyway, be looking for that. So anyway, love you. Have a good evening. Nana Prep out.